ESWALIZA, and I'll be introducing a case study on Mentor Graphics. Mentor Graphics is a leading electronic design automation firm that provides advanced design and verification solutions in highly competitive, innovation-driven technology industry. As the organization grew, it began facing challenges related to connection, strategic focus, and organization culture. These pressures made continuous change management essential, turning Mentor Graphics into a valuable case for understanding how organizations adapt, evolve, and manage change in complex environments. Let's take a closer look at what we can learn from this case.
Assalamualaikum, my name is FATIHAH and I will describe how vision was used at Mentor Graphics across different phases of its development and what that reveals about the power and pitfalls of strategic visioning. Mentor Graphics used vision in a dynamic and evolving way. It shifted from being a practical tool to a competitive motivator, then become rigid and abstract before finally returning to a grounded, customer-focused approach. This journey shows how vision can both guide and mislead, depending on how it's applied. Firstly, as competitive pressure grew, Mentor Graphics made its vision more explicit and emotionally charged. The slogan "Beat Daisy" became a rallying point which mobilized employees, aligned resources, and provided a clear benchmark for action. It helped the company compete directly with Daisy system and secure market leadership. Secondly, the company's vision drifted into abstraction and rigidity. The 6 boxes framework aimed for leadership in 6 businesses area, but ended up constraining strategic flexibility. Mentor Graphics continued investing in unprofitable areas like computer-aided publishing just to preserve the symbolic integrity of the vision. This shows how vision, when treated dogmatically, can lead to poor financial judgment. Thirdly, the next phase saw vision creep and a loss of clarity. Initiatives like the 10-time imperative and the slogan changing the way the word designed together became vague, confusing, and difficult for customers to understand. Vision shifted from being a guiding tool to a distraction that hindered decision-making and confused stakeholders. Lastly, Mentor Graphics returned to a grounded vision: build things people will buy. This reset emphasized that vision must be practical, adaptable, and aligned with customer value and operational reality. It marked a return to clarity and commercial relevance.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is FAIZ. For this part of the presentation, I will explain why the vision strengthened or weakened Mentor Graphics and why this happened. Vision is usually seen as something positive because it gives direction and helps people work toward the same goals. However, the Mentor Graphics case shows that vision does not always help an organization. By looking at different stages of the company's development, I will show on how vision helped the company at first but later created problems when it was used in the wrong way. In the early stages, vision clearly strengthened Mentor Graphics. The company's vision was simple, clear, and focused on customer needs. This helped the organization make better product decisions and ensured that products were useful and could be sold in the market. When vision is clear and linked to customers, managers and employees can make better decisions because they understand what the company is trying to achieve. Vision also helps align employees across different departments so everyone works in the same direction. The Beat Daisy vision was also very effective. It created urgency and gave the company a clear target to focus on. Because the goal was easy to understand, employees knew how their work helped the company succeed. This increased focus, motivation, and teamwork. However, vision did not remain helpful all the time. After the Beat Daisy phase, vision became short-term and reactive. Instead of guiding long-term strategy, it focused mainly on competing with others. This reduced its usefulness for long-term planning. This situation became worse with the 6-box vision. This vision became too rigid. Managers were afraid to close unprofitable business because it will go against the vision. As a result, vision stopped helping managers make good decisions. At this stage, vision became a rule instead of guide. This reduced flexibility and made it harder for the company to respond to change in the market and technology. The mentographic case shows that vision can both help and harm an organization. Vision strengthened the company when it was clear, practical, and focused on the market. It helped people to stay focused and make better decisions. However, vision weakened the company when it became rigid, unclear, and disconnected from daily work. Instead of helping strategy, vision limited flexibility and slowed decision making. The key lesson is that vision should be flexible and realistic. It should guide decisions, not control them. When used properly, vision can support success. When used wrongly, it can create problems.
Mentographic shows organizational vision can fail when they are poorly constructed or misaligned with business realities. The company initially thrived with a pragmatic vision, but later their vision started to fall into several pitfalls that lead vision to fail. The first reason is that the vision was too specific. Halberstam explained that overly specific vision may clarify immediate tasks but fail to provide strategic foresight. Mentographic 6 boxes vision illustrates this problem. By committing to 6 businesses areas, the company locked itself into a rigid framework. This constrained autonomy and limited strategic flexibility, making it difficult for managers and contributors to pursue long-term objectives. The second reason is that the vision was too vague. Malchim notes that excessively broad vision often lack motivational powers and fail to deliver clear guidance. Mentographic 10 times imperative vision was based on industry trends like Six Sigma, but it lacked clarity in its application to the company's core business. Customers struggled to understand what the vision meant in practice, which weakened its ability to attract and retain them. The third reason is that the vision became blurred or irrelevant. In 1989, the company introduced the vision, changing the way the world designed together. This was extravagant and disconnected from Mentographics' actual operation, which focused primarily on software development. Even Langella admitted this was the final extension of vision creep. When vision are blurred or irrelevant, organizational focus is diluted and employees and customers cannot see how daily action connect to the promised future. Finally, the vision was often unrealistic. Many of Mentographic aspirations were perceived as impossible or disconnected from current reality. For example, the goal of revolutionizing global design collaboration was far beyond the company's capabilities at that time. When employees and customers see a gap between aspiration and realism, credibility is damaged. Instead of inspiring, unrealistic vision became demoralizing.
Thank you. My name is IRFAN bin Ismail. For this part, I will be assess the vision content and the vision introduction process at Mentographic, and then highlighting the key lessons that emerge from this key assessment. Now, let's go to the assessment of the vision content. Mentographic went through several very different visions over time, and each one reflected different strategic assumptions. The earliest vision was not formally written, but it was the idea of build something people will buy. This was less of a grand vision and more of a survival mindset. It came from spending months talking to potential customers to figure out what product concept might actually succeed. Even though it was not inspirational, it helped the company stay focused on what the market truly needed. As competition increased, the company shifted suddenly to big DC. This vision was extremely reactive and short-term. It worked well for mobilizing employees around a competitive goal. But once mentor actually built this system, the vision stopped being useful. It offered no long-term direction. Next came the 6-box vision, which identified 6 businesses areas where mentor wanted to lead. This seemed strategic, but it turned out to be too rigid. Leadership felt pressure to keep all 6 areas, even when one, like computer-aided publishing, was falling, simply to preserve the structure of the vision. Instead of guiding strategy, the vision actually restricted decision-making. The company then entered a period of vision creep, where the vision statement became more abstract and detached from reality. The 10 times imperative sounded ambitious, but was so vague then that even customers could not explain what it meant. And the vision, changing the way the world designed together, was inspirational but had little connection to mentor actual product or technologies, especially their development of the 8th software generation. This vision looked impressive on paper but did not help with real decision. Eventually, mentor graphic returned to a practical, a back-to-basic vision, which is build things people will buy. This time, unlike the original implicit version, the statement was explicit, simple, customer-focused, and aligned with business reality. It corrected the mistake of the grand abstract vision and brought the company back to a clear and attainable direction. Now, we will look at how the vision were introduced. Throughout the case, most visions were created using top-down approach by senior leadership. Employees were not meaningfully involved, so internal understanding and ownership remained weak. There was almost no testing for clarity. For example, if customers could not understand the 10 times imperative, it is unlikely that employees fully understood it either. This lack of clarity meant that the vision failed as a communication tool. Another issue was the poor alignment between vision and operation. For example, changing the way the world designed together had almost no connection to what mentor was actually building. When employees cannot link their day-to-day work to the vision lost relevance. Mentor graphic also changed vision too frequently, from customer-centric to competitive to structural to abstract, then back to basic. This constant shifting reduced credibility, made long-term direction confusing for employees. Finally, some vision ignored visibility. The 6-box vision prevents shutting down an unprofitable unit, and at one point, the company even hesitated to adopt some platform because it did not match their imagined identity. This example shows how poorly introduced vision can limit strategic judgment. Now, let's head into lessons emerging from the assessment. First, vision must be clear, realistic, and tied to real business challenges. Vague and abstract vision like 10 times imperative fail because people cannot apply them to real work. Second, organizations should avoid vision creep. When a vision becomes too broad or symbolic, it stops guiding strategy. Third, stakeholder engagement matters. When employees are excluded from vision development, they are less likely to understand or commit to it. Next, vision should guide decision without limiting flexibility. The 6-box example show how a rigid vision can actually block necessary strategic moves. And finally, vision must be consistent over time. Frequent changes undermine credibility and confidence. Mentor vision, written to a simple customer-driven vision, highlight that consistency and alignment matter more than a big dramatic statement. Thank you.
Hi everyone, in this section we will explore what mentor graphic case tells us about 3 key debates on vision, how vision shapes change, when it helps or hinders, and whether it belongs to leaders or the whole organization. Let's see what we can learn from vision in practice. The first debate examines whether vision drives change or emerges during change using the mentor graphic case. The early bit stage vision functioned as a clear driver of change by generating urgency, strategic focus, and alignment, consistent with Carter's framework. In contrast, later visions emerges reactively in response to organizational complexity and ongoing challenges, reflecting sense-making rather than directive leadership. These challenges linear model of change and suggest the vision evolves over time. The implication is that vision must be continuously reviewed and recalibrated to remain relevant in dynamic environment. Second debate examines whether vision helps or hinders organization change using the mentor graphic case. The case shows that vision supports change only when it is clear, flexible, and aligned with organization context. Concrete visions enable cognitions and reduce uncertainty, while rigid frameworks create path dependence and constrain adaptation. In contrast, vague and abstract visions reduce alignment and credibility, as seen in both mentor graphics and Nokia. The key implication is that vision must be regularly reassessed and operationalized to prevent it from becoming a constraint on organization change. Lastly, the debate addresses whether vision is an attribute of heroic leaders or heroic organization. The mentor graphic case shows that vision does not reside solely on individual leaders but becomes embedded in organization culture and system. Once institutionalized, vision shapes routine and norms independently of leadership's intent, as explained by SAINS and supported by distributed leadership research. Similar patterns are evidenced in organizations such as Toyota and General Electric, where embedded visions both enable and constrain change. The key implications is that vision should be treated as an organizational capability that must be actively interpreted, enacted, and retired across the organization.
In the mentor graphic case, not all 6 images of change appear equally, but 4 are clear. Leaders sometimes act as director by setting a firm vision, as navigator by adjusting to constraint and uncertainty. The interpreter image shows when vision helps employees make sense of change, while the natural image reflects how vision evolves over time through learning and external forces. Mentor graphics story. The director image of vision is strongest at the beginning. Leaders assume the change outcomes could be planned and controlled, so mission and vision were set at the top and pushed downward to guide implementation. Mentor's graphic early vision was simple and built something customer would buy and beat Daisy, its main rival. That clear target focused that organization on customer interviews and developing better workstation, aligning effort with market realities, competitive pressure, and early growth. Mentor Graphics was able to diversify into various business segments, and this made the image of the navigator of vision even more evident. In this case, mission and vision were not disregarded by the managers, yet the result could be controlled only partially. Thus, the vision was to be mediated and spread to politics, limitation, and uncertainties. This stress is evident on the vision of 6 bosses, which 6 businesses that the firm wanted to dominate. When a unit was performing poorly, shutting it will be symbolically remove 6 and make it 5, hence undermine the vision. Leaders were forced to deal with political and symbolic pressure and not to act according to a straightforward formula. The interpreter image of vision can be seen when the leaders leave the sphere of control and become sense makers, using the mission and vision to create a new narrative of identity and purpose. Slogans like 10 times imperative and changing the way of the world designed together which were used at Mentor Graphics aimed at making the company an international design leader. This story, however, became too abstract and unrelated to everyday activities and customer demands. The point is therefore where visionary language should not lose its touch to the realities of the businesses, otherwise it will turn into a mere rhetoric. The longer path of Mentor Graphics best describes the image of Natura. In this regard, organizations are complex systems where change and even vision is created by a combination of numerous interacting forces which are above the control of one leader. Similar ideas including beating Daisy, 6 boxes, the 10-time imperative, and changing the way the world designed together, after which Mentor Graphics returned to the need to focus on the practical solutions that its customer can afford. Competitive force, internal dissatisfaction, and financial indicators were some of the factors that caused this shift. The most important thing is humility. Is the leader can give out a vision, but they must listen to the bottom-up emergent knowledge that will determine what works.
To conclude, the Mentor Graphics case shows that vision is not always good or bad by itself. Its value depends on how useful and practical it is in guiding decisions. Vision strengthened the company when it was clear and closely connected to customers and competitive realities. During this period, vision helped improve focus, performance, and decision making. However, vision weakened Mentor Graphics when it became abstract and disconnected from real business conditions. This created confusion and reduced the quality of strategic decision. The key lesson from this case is that vision should act as a flexible guide that supports strategy and value creation rather than rigid rules that limit organizational action.